Hi everyone, I want to show you 8 titles that I got now on Blu-ray. Some of these are titles that I'm buying on Blu-ray for the first time, on home video for the first time, and some of them are upgrades that I'm transferring kind of from the DVD, getting rid of the DVD, and now upgrading to the Blu-ray. To start with, we have a 1982 comedy, not a horror film. This is a comedy, one of my favorite comedies from the 80s. It's Night Shift. It stars Henry Winkler, aka the Fonz on TV, and Shelley Long and Michael Keaton. And it is really one of my favorite comedies of all time, and certainly one of my favorite 80s comedies. This film I had on DVD for many years, and kind of a weak copy. So happy. It took forever for them to put it out on Blu-ray, and this is newly released, which makes me pretty happy. Okay, here's a film I've seen before. First time owning it on Blu-ray. It's Halloween 2018. I'm adding the 2018 part because it really irritates me when they either remake a movie or in this case it's not a remake, it's a sequel or sort of a semi-reboot, really continuing 40 years after the original 78 Halloween, but call it something different. Call it Halloween Returns, Halloween Revisited. Call it Halloween 2018. Call it anything but just Halloween. Anyway, first time adding this to my collection. This is a made-for-TV film that I grew up with, and I had it on a rather weak-looking, again, DVD. I'm so happy they decided to put this out on the Warner Archives. It's none other than Bad Ronald. These are all films that I'm going to be discussing as time goes on. Eventually, you'll hear me talking about them and why I bought them. This is an unusual thing that I did. I was in a store and they had a lot of cheap, used, secondhand Blu-rays. And I don't usually buy used Blu-rays and go shopping for them. I usually buy new online, but I happened to see this in the bin for just a few dollars, and it was a film that I saw in the movie theater with my girlfriend several years ago. It's rare that we go to the movie theater to see some film that we just don't know about. I didn't know what this was. It's a kind of like a sort of science fiction film taking place on a spaceship, and it's called Passengers. And we were very impressed with the film, considering, that we stumbled upon it just by chance. And it stars Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt, and it's from the 21st century. Very rare for me to love well, not love, but admire or like, enjoy 21st century stuff. Okay, here's a movie that I have not seen yet. Out of all the movies in this particular bunch, this is the only one that I've never seen before. And it's a James Bond movie, Daniel Craig. It's the last one that they had out. It's called Spectre. And I also found this used for a few bucks. It's the only James Bond film I've never seen, not counting the brand new one that's out now, which I'm still not sure when I'm going to get to see that. I should see it before it leaves the theaters, but the new one's going to be Daniel Craig's last go-around as Bond. But for this one in particular, I've heard mixed things about it, mostly lukewarm. I've heard it's not very good. That's why I never went to see it in the theater. I didn't run to see it. So this is going to be a first watch eventually. Okay, these two that I'm going to show now, these are Hammer horror films from the British studio Hammer. First, we have one here starring Peter Cushing in the Frankenstein series that he did. And this one's from 1973, and it's called Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell. And some people would be interested to know that this character here, the monster, the Frankenstein monster here, is played by Dave Prowse, who people know as Darth Vader from Star Wars. And this is one of my favorite, I think, underrated films in that particular series. And then also from Hammer, Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde, an interesting take, to say the least, on the Robert Louis Stevenson classic. This one stars Ralph Bates and the very, very attractive Martine Beswick as his other half, the alter ego Mrs. Hyde. And yeah, this one I'll be talking about too in time to come. Finally, this is an upgrade. This one is a double feature of Val Lewton films, The Ghost Ship and Bedlam. Bedlam stars Boris Karloff, and I bought it primarily for Bedlam, but I have the Val Lewton collection on DVD, and it's in long need of restoration. And now all the Val Lewton films are coming out. We need I Walked with a Zombie. That's the one we need It hasn't come out yet. So anyway, thank you for sharing. See you soon.